Hey everybody, James Morgan here. How's everybody today? I wanted to bring up a subject that I was talking to some friends about in the music business. The fact that where are all the bands? The new bands. It's almost like you had bands in the old days. And a lot of them are still together, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, um, you know, Journey, all these iconic bands. And nowadays, it just seems like there really isn't any. It's almost like football teams, they have players that they become a free agent and then they go and play with this person and then they go and play with that band. And, the drummer, they have like two or three drummers and it's all interchangeable. And I think it shows in the quality of the music. I mean, there's a lot of great players, that can adapt quickly and the music sounds great, but, it's like no one sticks together, from the old garage band days where you would just practice and rehearse all the time. You'd start out small, playing small clubs, sometimes for free, and stick together. And then pretty soon, you're recording albums together and all that. But that whole mentality seems to not be there. I've started my band, Ghost Jazz Trio. It's a brand that I built, started in 2017. And I had started it basically as a jam band. And I was playing with two other players, drummer and a bassist. And we were playing clubs. And then no rehearsals. We had no charts, no songs. We would just jam and people liked it. So then I decided to write some songs because I like writing songs. And those two players decided they weren't interested in playing with me because I was going to be writing songs and they wanted to keep jamming. It's fine. So I found other players to play with to play my songs. And it just never turned into a band situation. I have two or three bass players, a couple drummers, keyboardists that I pull from that I call when I have an event or a venue show to do. I can put a call out to a bunch of different people and whoever happens to be available, they play, they're familiar with my material. I have lead sheets and charts and it's all great. I mean, I've adapted to the system, but it's just, there's what happened to starting a band. People don't start bands anymore. So that's another thing in the music industry that I found has changed. It's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just what it is. So everyone's a gun for hire, basically, and they go and play with different people. And there's a lot of great on-call players. I have a bass player who plays with me, and he tours a lot with Coco Montoya and does other events with other notable high-profile players. But yeah, so all that has kind of gone to the wayside. Again, it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just what it is. And then I see some people come together that record an album and then they're not really a band after that. They'll go off and do their own thing. It seems almost like there's more like solo artists that find a rhythm section to back them up. Even Al Di Meola these days, he'll get a bass player and a drummer not really known in the music community worldwide, but they can play his material. So Keiko Matsui and just a lot of musicians. Pat Metheny is always interchanging, playing with different people. It's not the old Pat Metheny group with Gottlieb and Mark Egan and of course Lyle Mays, but it's a different landscape now. And it's basically if you have a certain genre that you play, whatever level you're at, you try to find those musicians that can play that music and play that genre well and understand it. I've been lucky. I've been able to find always really good players on all my albums. My last 4 albums, the Ghost Jazz Trio albums, had some great players on there, and you know, a drummer and bassist that's been on a few of them, and of course Dean Brown playing on my last Ghost Jazz Trio album, guitar, synth, and percussion, and yeah. And then I just put out a new album, Soul in Time, with Gary Husband and Adrian Farad, and we recorded the album. Sounds like we're playing together. Never met the guys. Just it was arranged by Dean Brown before he passed away for us to get together and do this album. We originally had about 12, 13 songs, and but for our budget, we were only able to record about 4 or 5 actually. So we recorded those. People love the album. It's doing great. It's getting a lot of spins worldwide. It's on a lot of playlists. You know, it's one song, Samba Sky's got over almost 12,000 views in not even a month. On YouTube, go to Ghost Jazz Trio channel, and other songs on there as well, the channel you're watching. So, you know, you can do that, you know, good players, especially the genre that this last album was recorded in with the jazz rock fusion, having Gary Husband and Adrian Farad, that was just in their wheelhouse, perfect. And that's why Dean wanted them on the album, said they would be great. And hopefully we'll be doing a new album to release next year with the rest of the songs that we weren't able to put on this one. So I'll be updating everyone on that if and when that happens. And I've talked to Gary about it. He's interested. And so I'll be sending him songs, and then we'll produce them and collaborate together and record remotely. I recorded here in the US. Gary recorded in the UK, and Adrian recorded while he was on the road in his hotel room and probably at home. So it's possible to put out really good music and not be a band. And that's why I say, you know, what happened to starting bands? You don't really need to start a band anymore. There's just great musicians out there, and we have the technology these days just to put out an album without really having to go through all the labor intensive growing pains of you know, a band. So I'm a band leader, so all I have to do is book my shows, get the players, they're independent contractors, pay them a fee, and the show goes on. So it's no fuss, no muss. I really actually like the fact that that's the way it is, and I have more control over the creative aspect of the music, do all the booking, where I want to play, and just how I present the product to the buyer or the host, talent buyer, and all that. So whatever happened to starting a band, you don't need to start a band anymore. So those of you that you know, are putting ads out there, hey, let's start a band, you don't need to. Just get your chops together, get your material together, your songs, and find the people that can play the music and have them on call and do some shows or do some recordings and get your music out there. It's what happened to me. I had 4 albums that I did with changing personnel pretty much for each album, except for I think the last 2, except Dean joined us on the last album. And everything sounded great. All 4 albums were nominated for Best Jazz Album of the Year, you know, up to #1 on the jazz charts. You know, it's doable. You just have to know the process. You have to create a large footprint online, and you have to constantly do marketing. You got to use, you know, a lot of these days, a lot of musicians put a lot of effort and time. They have a home studio, so they don't have to pay for a lot of recording, but they don't bother to put any money on the back end. You have to pay for marketing and publicity on the back end. That's how you, you know, with as much music as out there, with 68,000 new songs published every month, you know, millions of songs every year, you're lucky if you even get seen in the mix. So marketing yourself is key, and that's one good thing I'm good at. And anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on the whole band, having a band situation, and do you really need to have a band? You have all these jam playing technologies where you can play with other musicians, see everybody on the screen. Um, it's of course I always prefer playing live because you're playing with the musicians in the same room when the magic is happening. It's great. But you can do that online too, to a certain degree. You're just not in the same room, but you can still play together. All you need is a camera and the right software or platform to use online, and it's working. So again, let me know what your thoughts are on the whole band thing. I think that's a thing of the past. I'm glad that the 60s, 70s, 80s, then the 90s, everything kind of changed. There's still some bands that are still hanging on one foot in the grave. We all know who they are. And they're all in their 70s and 80s and still either dressing the same or playing the same music to recapture the days gone by. But whatever it takes to get your music out there, do it. I mean, we need some new, refreshing, new compositions, these talented players out there. Mancuso, and there's too many to name. They just need to really just put as much music, original music out there as they can. Find their voice, tell their story, and get the music out there. All right, look forward to seeing your comments below. You can follow me, James Morgan, on the Ghost Jazz Trio. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can go to James Morgan Fusion Figures on Facebook, and I'll put the links down below. And also the Ghost Jazz Trio on Twitter, Instagram, and a Bandcamp. You can find the new album, Morgan-Guitarist for Rod, A Soul in Time, produced by myself, Gary Husband, and Dean Brown. There's a song featuring Eric Marienthal called A Soul in Time. There's a radio edit version, and then there's the extended version. There's some nice videos on this YouTube channel for On the Edge, A Feather's Touch, and Samba Sky. If you want to go ahead and watch those videos, pretty nice. I put those together myself, and do my own marketing. I'm going to put some more music videos up as well. I'm starting to enjoy doing it. So okay, hope everyone has a great day, and keep playing, keep practicing. You got to practice every day. You got to keep those chops going, because you never know when that call is going to come, and you want to be ready for it. Just like with me, with playing with Gary Husband and Hadrian Farad 5 years ago, I would never thought I would be playing with them. But by sticking to the kind of music I like playing, and marketing myself, and practicing, and keeping myself out there, I made it happen. And anyone can make it happen if I can. So, and I'm almost 70 years old. So what does that tell you? All right, take care, everyone. I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope to see some comments below. All right, see you on my next video. I think my next video is going to be titled, "What's with everyone soloing 1,000,000 miles an hour?" That's what I want to know.